Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly mind-bending concept, Ray Kurzweil's singularity. We're going to see exactly why the future is arriving much, much faster than you probably think. I mean, if you just look at the rapid pace of modern tech, it already feels like we're on the edge of something unimaginable, right? Well, according to the data, we absolutely are.
There's this great quote from Arthur Schopenhauer. He said, "Everyone takes the limits of his own vision for the limits of the world." And wow, does that perfectly capture why we struggle to predict what's coming? See, we are biologically wired to view the world in a very specific, limited way. And it's exactly that limitation that totally clouds our vision of tomorrow.
So why exactly is the future so widely misunderstood? Well, to answer that, we've got to look at a fundamental mental blind spot that we literally all share when we try to picture tomorrow. You know, even the most brilliant minds out there often get it wrong. And it's not because they lack data. It's simply because of how the human brain processes time and progress.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, the deception of linear growth. Second, the law of accelerating returns. Third, the 6 epochs of evolution. And finally, transcending human biology. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the deception of linear growth and the flaw in our intuition.
So, the thing is, we humans inherently expect the future to be pretty much exactly like our present. We rely on an intuitive, linear view. Think of it like progress expanding by just repeatedly adding a constant amount over time. 1, 2, 3, 4. But history completely proves that technological progress is actually exponential. It expands by repeatedly multiplying. 1, 2, 4, 8. Now, I know that might seem like a super subtle difference at first glance, but the implications are absolutely massive.
Now, take a look at the knee of the curve plotted here. This is absolutely crucial. It's the exact moment where deceptive, agonizingly slow growth suddenly becomes explosive. When you look at an exponential trend early on, it looks completely flat, just like linear growth. But once you hit that knee, boom, the numbers skyrocket almost straight up.
To ground this abstract math, think about a lake owner who has lily pads that double every few days. For months, he just patiently waits. There are only these tiny little patches, doubling completely unnoticed. He goes on vacation thinking, hey, I've got plenty of time. But when he comes back just a few weeks later, the entire lake is choked out. Why did that happen? Because those last 7 doublings explosively expanded the coverage 128-fold in a matter of days. That is the hidden danger, and honestly, the staggering power of exponential growth.
Moving on to Section 2, the law of accelerating returns, or as I like to think of it, the math behind the magic.
This law actually explains why even brilliant scientists suffer from extreme pessimism. Take the Human Genome Project. Back in 1990, scientists had only sequenced 1/10,000th of the genome. Thinking linearly, the experts predicted it would literally take a century to finish. But by riding the exponential curve, it was fully completed in just 15 years. Or consider the internet. Back in 1985, experts were highly skeptical because there were only tens of thousands of nodes. They completely ignored the fact that those nodes were doubling every single year. And remember when Garry Kasparov famously mocked computer chess in 1992? Well, he was defeated by a machine just 5 years later. Prognosticators constantly fail because they just don't account for the exponentially more powerful tools they're going to inherit tomorrow.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 6 epochs of evolution, and our path to the singularity.
Now, this cosmic roadmap perfectly illustrates how evolution works through what's called indirection. Basically, evolution creates a new capability, and then it immediately turns around and uses that exact capability to evolve the next stage. It literally takes the tools built in one epoch to forge the subsequent one. It's just this ever-accelerating compounding loop of information and order.
Notice how we progress through these stages. Epoch 1 is just your basic physics and chemistry, atoms forming. Then Epoch 2 introduces biology and DNA, so now we have molecules that can self-replicate. And using that DNA, we hit Epoch 3, brains and neural patterns. And right here is the vital jump. The biological evolution of brains directly paved the way for human-directed technological evolution, which is Epoch 4. So we built the tools, and now what? The tools are building the future.
Okay, if we plot key evolutionary milestones on a standard, linear graph, it honestly looks like absolutely nothing happened for billions of years, right? Until you hit this sudden, straight wall of events right at the present. It's totally deceptive. But look at the logarithmic plot instead. When we scale the graph by powers of 10,
Plotting the time until the next major event, a perfectly straight descending line emerges. This mathematically proves that evolution has been continually and smoothly accelerating since the absolute dawn of life.
And that leads us to our final part, Section 4, Transcending Human Biology, the Ultimate Destination.
We are rapidly approaching the singularity. This is a future era where the pace of technological change becomes so incredibly rapid that human life, as we know it, will be irreversibly transformed. Our frail, version 1.0 biological bodies, with brains limited to these extremely slow chemical connections, they're going to completely merge with our insanely fast technology. And this merger is going to vastly amplify our creativity. It's going to give us the tools to solve those age-old human problems like disease, poverty, and honestly, perhaps even mortality itself. As this famous historical quote from mathematician Irving John Good points out, we are standing on the absolute verge of an intelligence explosion. Once we create machines that are smarter than us, well, they'll be able to design even better machines and do it so much faster than we ever could. The result? We're going to see non-biological intelligence that is trillions of times more powerful than unaided human thought.
But that incomprehensible explosion of intelligence doesn't just stay here on Earth. And that brings us to Epoch 6, the universe wakes up. Ultimately, this sublime intelligence is going to spread outwards. It'll begin reorganizing and saturating all the ordinary, dumb matter and energy of the universe with intelligent processes. According to Kurzweil, this cosmic awakening is the ultimate destiny of the singularity.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up. In a world without biological limits, if our bodies change, if our brains literally merge with machines, and if our intelligence spreads out to the stars, what is left of us? Well, if being human inherently means seeking to extend our physical and mental reach way beyond our current limitations, then transcending our biology might just be the most human thing we ever do. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.